So you found the perfect ergonomic office chair in the Steelcase Leap V2 series, but you're not quite sure if the standard Leap V2 or the Leap V2 Plus is a better option for your specific needs. Well, stay tuned because in this video, we're gonna be showing you what the differences and the similarities are of both of these products, helping you decide which is best fit for your specific needs. Hey guys, Greg with BTOD TV and BTOD.com. It's not surprising that you found the Steelcase Leap V2 product to be a good fit for your needs. I mean, after all, this is the most comfortable chair that we have scored for the last 3 years running here at BTOD.com and one of my personal favorites. Now, the only problem is which particular product is best for your needs. The V2 Standard has a 400-pound capacity. The Plus has a 500. This is very similar. And you might think maybe save some money and go with the V2 Standard, but if you're 400 pounds, this isn't a good option. And the V2 Plus is probably a better option. Now, there are a lot of similarities and the chairs look very similar at first glance, but with so many differences, it's important that we cover both similarities and differences so you get a better idea which one's best fit for your specific needs. So that's exactly what we're gonna do in this video, and we're gonna actually start with the similarities first of the V2 Standard and the V2 Plus. With that, let's go ahead and get started. So the first similarity of these two chairs is just their overall look, and this is by design, as Steelcase is going to be having these in major spaces, major offices together. They don't want one chair to really stand out from the other. So when you just take a quick look at the chairs at first glance, they do look very similar. Now, one of course is much larger than the other, but if you're looking at things like armrests, the back hinging design, seat shape, back shape, things like that, they do look very similar. One of the major similarities for the V2 and the V2 Plus is the actual arm adjustment. So if you go with the 4-way adjustable arm set, which is something we always recommend, and these are arms that we absolutely love here at BTOD, you are going to get the same exact adjustment range on both the Standard and the V2 Plus product. Now, of course, the chair is a little bit bigger on the V2 Plus side, so the width is going to be bigger, but the way that the arms move and adjust are going to be exactly the same. If you like the back design and the overall comfort of the back on the V2, you're going to like it on the V2 Plus, as the live back technology is also available on this product. So you're going to get that nice, natural, flexible feeling in both of these chairs. Much like the live back technology, both chairs are also going to come with an adjustable lumbar tension function. Now, this is nice as it will increase or decrease the depth of the actual lumbar support in the chair, which is something that's good for those who are looking for a very pronounced lumbar support, as the Leap V2 Standard and V2 Plus are both chairs with excellent lower support. Staying on the backrest, there is height adjustable lumbar on both chairs, and this functions exactly the same way and allows you to move both up and down on your back, kind of fine-tuning where you feel lumbar the most. If you're looking for the tilt limiter function that you'll find on many of the high-end products, including the Leap V2 series, it is found on both of these chairs and has a 5-position tilt limiting function included standard. The last similarity in the design of both of these chairs is the seat slider function. And again, if you're not familiar, this is something that allows the seat to slide back and forth, adjusting for different length legs. And that brings us to the differences of these chairs, because of course there are some major differences. The first major difference between these two chairs is the actual weight capacity. The V2 Standard comes with a 400-pound capacity, while the V2 Plus comes with a 500-pound capacity. Now, this is really important if you're someone that's sort of on the borderline of each of these chairs, because the warranty itself is going to be very specific in which weight capacity it will allow you to make a claim on. The seat size on both of these chairs is quite a bit different. When we look at the Standard V2, it has a just over 19-inch wide seat with a seat depth that's about 18 inches. This is adjustable to mimic a shorter or longer length seat. However, the actual dimensions of the seat are exactly that. Now, when we look at the V2 Plus, it is much larger. It is 22.75 inches wide and almost 20 inches deep. So you can see just the two sizes of these seat pans are significantly different. At first glance, the backrests on both of these chairs do look very similar, and you might even think they're the same, but the size of each back is quite a bit different. With the Standard V2 at just about 18 inches, it's 2 inches narrower than that of the V2 Plus, which is right around the 20-inch mark. One thing you'll really notice, especially if you get the chair in person, is the actual thickness of the back pads. The V2 is not quite as thick. You really see that it's more full in the V2 Plus, and this is likely due to the fact of the heavier individual that will be sitting in a V2 Plus chair. One of the major differences from a construction and just overall feel of the chairs is the seat pans themselves. Now, of course, one is larger than the other. That's very obvious, but the way that they move and move with you is quite a bit different. The standard V2 chair has a nice flexible front seat pan, which we really like because it allows you to move more in the chair and moves with you, helping to not necessarily restrict blood flow through your legs as you're moving in the chair. Now, the V2 Plus is really a heavy duty product, and they didn't include this function, which if we take a closer look at the V2, you can actually see it's part of what is like a plastic shell on the bottom of the actual pad itself, and then it's built into the seat slider function, which uses it's like a fiberglass bowing system that really is very unique in how it's kind of flexing as you're moving in the chair. If we look at the V2 Plus, it is made from a plywood core, which is more typical of what you'd find from office chairs just in general, especially when we look at heavy duty office chairs. It has a nice, thick plywood core. Now, this is going to be good just for overall support long term, but it won't necessarily be quite as comfortable. So another major difference in the actual construction of the chair is tied into the arms and the mechanisms themselves. So if we look at the V2 standard first, you can see that the arms are tied into the mechanism. Everything is welded together nicely, and they have formed pieces of steel in the swing arms that help with the actual overall adjustment or swinging and moving of the chair when you're in a reclined position. Now, if we look at the V2 Plus and we compare these two chairs, you can see there is a significant difference not only in the actual thickness of the steel as it spans out underneath the seat, but the way they're actually connecting that to the mechanism. There is an additional piece of steel on both sides that's welded to help reinforce this chair overall. So there is a major difference in the construction underneath the chair, and that's really, you can tell, the 100-pound difference. There's a lot more built into the V2 Plus. So while it's only a 100-pound difference in what they're rating it for, the chair is definitely overbuilt when compared to the standard V2. And the last major difference between these two products is the actual construction of the base. The standard V2 uses a nylon constructed base. This is pretty much the standard of most chairs in the industry these days, while the V2 Plus is utilizing a steel construction with just a plastic covering over the top to conceal the actual steel construction underneath. Now, this construction that they're using on the V2 Plus, this is what they used to use on the V1 chair. They also used it on the original EMEA chairs, but they have gone away from it, and they really never introduced it with their V2 standard product. Overall, both are going to be nice and robust products, but the steel construction of the V2 Plus is definitely built to last and support more weight. Which Steelcase Leap V2 is best for your needs? It's honestly going to depend. Now, of course, if you're someone who's over 400 pounds, absolutely look at the V2 Plus as the only option. If you're 350 and under, this may be something that's suitable for you, but you're really going to want to consider the overall dimensions of both chairs. You don't necessarily want to get this chair if you don't fit in it comfortably, because that's going to take away from the comfort that you get from proper ergonomics. Same is true for this chair. If you're too small, don't get this chair just because it's overbuilt and you're worried about them lasting. Each chair comes with Steelcase's 12-year warranty, which is honestly one of the best in the business. Now, hopefully you found this video helpful and you were able to better understand the major differences and similarities between these two Leap V2 chairs. If it was helpful, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, as we've got a ton of great office chair content coming up in the future. Thanks a lot for watching.